lanzamiento, aquí viene un batazo de Mundito entre right center field, la bola pica, se extiende, viene anotando Stott, empata el juego, también manda para la bola Turner anota y los Phillies se van arriba. Se prepara, Mundito en segunda, el lanzamiento, batazo profundo para el center field, la bola se va, Schwarber bomb, ¡campanazo! Aquí viene el lanzamiento, swing y lo ponchó. Ponche de Alvarado, amigos. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Phillies Weekly, a very special edition today, trading deadline edition. What a day, what a week, what a year. This was incredible, guys. At least I do believe that after we finish this discussion here today, we're going to basically say that we got the best closer and one of the best trades that we got. But today was wild. Yesterday, 16 trades. Today, I tuned into a Sirius XM, listening to it. There was 21 trades, and I think over the last 2 hours, there were like 40 trades. And I think they're still coming in. How are you guys? How's it going?
Good, Oscar. I mean, it was funny when the Mason Miller trade happened today. I was at Eagles training camp practice, and I told everybody Mason Miller got traded. Everybody just kind of stopped. Like, we're watching individual drills, and they're like, well, where's he going? I'm like, the Padres. And then I mentioned, a lot of people in the Eagles are baseball fans. And you mentioned who's going back to, I almost said Oakland, Sacramento, or the A's. And they're like, wait, that's how much it costs for Mason Miller? Wow, the Phillies got a steal for Jhoa and Duran. So I guess the trade worked out.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. Tim, how you doing? I bet you haven't slept the last 2 days.
It's been a very busy week, and fortunately, it's going to be a nice, calm weekend at the ballpark this weekend. So,
oh yeah, especially tomorrow.
Just what we needed. Look, I think this to me is one of my favorite days of the year, to be honest with you, because there's so many things happening simultaneously, and you can see. But the way I look at it is the richer got richer. To me, it was a surprise what the Padres did. Everybody was saying, well, the Padres are just selling. I mean, everybody talked about Dylan Cruz and everything that was going to happen there. And so suddenly I see Mason Miller. I mean, these guys are going all out. I mean, they stole the show today. I mean, without a doubt, in my opinion, the Padres won the trading deadline. And the Mets, unfortunately, were not too far behind. They did a great job, and we'll talk more about it. Let's kind of bring everything in perspective. To start our discussion, kind of where the Phils are right now. We're half a game behind the Mets. We are even on the losing column, but I think the most worrisome part is the Mets have won 7 of the last 10 games. We've won only 5 games, and when you track down kind of where we are in general, it is a bit concerning. Let's just put it that way. We're now 5th overall in terms of record in the National League. When you start looking at some of these numbers, we have a game and a half ahead of the Cincinnati Reds. They're playing tonight. And look, this team needs to play better. This team has the capabilities of playing better, and hopefully the additions we have today will help in that respect. I don't know, your thoughts as we start kicking this off and talk about who we got and who we didn't get and all the dynamics around that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the boat. I think they had a net positive trade deadline. Whether they did enough or not remains to be seen. I think it's fair to question it. And it's one of the reasons I said a few weeks ago, do they have too many holes to potentially fill at this trade deadline because they didn't have a good last offseason or even a good last trade deadline? That's still out there, but I like the 2 moves they made. I think you get an elite closer and you get an outfielder that has been around the block, is a tremendous defender, can provide some offensive value. It's not a superstar offensive player, but there weren't many of those moved in the defense of the Phillies.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, I like what we did yesterday. I thought Dave Dombrowski did an unbelievable job. I give him an A+. Yesterday. Today, I mean, it's it's worth the discussion to see kind of where this team is. And again, I got a number of slides that we usually do here in the show. Here's where the Phils are the last 30 days. We're 14-16 over the last 30 days, 10-10 over the last 25-5. We got to play better baseball if we want to truly. We know that we play 500 ball in the second half of last year, and in order for us to get into championship contention, Harper, which has been hitting much better, needs to make sure he does it on a consistent basis. We've seen Ramuto playing much better during the month of July, one of the best hitters in the major leagues in the month of July. We see some March is those type of thing. I mean, that type of player that hints a little bit. I mean, he's playing much better the last week and a half. But, I mean, can he do it on a consistent basis? That is a big question mark that we have. But, hey, the opportunity is there. You want to have opportunities, and the opportunity is there for this team to play better ball. I didn't update July. July is 11 and 12 for the month of July. But if you see, outside of May, where we had 19-9, we've been playing basically 500 ball over the last 2 months, and we need to do much better.
Well, I want to add in July, too. They had a losing July last year. I think they were 10-14 in July, if I'm not mistaken. So I guess it was a little bit better July, but I mean, that White Sox series was atrocious, and it kind of got buried. Talk about burying the lead because they traded for Duran last night. But I don't know, Tim. To me, that just felt like the worst baseball they played all season.
Yeah, it wasn't a good series. You're going to have some of those throughout the course of the season, and they came after a 4-hour rain delay. They do end up making some big moves. So you kind of go from there. But, yeah, obviously not a good series.
Yeah, yesterday the day was the Duran day. We're going to put some music of Duran as part of the show.
You going to play Hungry Like the Wolf for us, Oscar?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I led that to WIP.
Or Ordinary World. We could play that one, too.
Yeah, no, I know they were playing it this morning when I was listening to it for a little bit. So here are the three guys that we acquired. Jhoa Duran, look, he was the best closer that was traded during the trading deadline. Hainsley with the Mets is a rental. This guy, we're going to have this guy for the next 2.5 years. So I thought that was a huge acquisition. Then we got Harrison Bader today, a guy that I thought we had the opportunity to get a couple years ago at the deadline. Last year, we talked about we need a right-handed bat for Hayes, replacing Hayes. His name popped up, and look, he's been playing this year much better than Dombrowski. I mean, the three of us were in a press conference with the president of baseball operation for the Phillies, and he basically hinted to that he thought he was playing much better than a lot of people were anticipating. So. And then Matt Manning is a project. He was sent to Class A, to Clearwater, to basically try to reinvent him. This is a guy that has a very, very good arm, that have pitched with the Detroit Tigers, that has an opportunity to maybe making it down the road. Then, look, you throw those darts out there to see if something comes out of it. This guy has some talent. So let's go one by one. I mean, Tim, from your perspective, the acquisition of Duran, what does it do for this entire Phillies team?
It makes the ninth innings lockdown. Now, there's always volatility with relievers, especially ones that throw as hard as he does, but he's one of the best closers in baseball. The Phillies have not had a pitcher like that at the back end of their bullpen really since Jonathan Papelbon was here. So it's been about a decade since they've had a true shutdown ninth inning closer. And you get a guy in Duran that's controllable for 2.5 years. And I think Mick Abel will be like a number 4 starter in the majors. I think Tait has a chance to be a really good hitter, but he's years away from the majors. I was really surprised that I thought they'd have to give up much more in this trade than they ultimately did.
Yeah, Tim, I agree with you. It was funny when the trade happened. I was actually told Mick Abel was part of the deal. I'm like, okay, well, that's a good start. And then I thought maybe it'd be like a Miller or a Crawford or something. So when you hear Tait, it's a lot better, and you could stomach that haul for, it's like you said, a guy that's under team control for 2 more years. He throws in the 99th percentile in fastball and splitter. He's the perfect ninth inning guy you need. And all of a sudden, that bumps Kerkering up to 7th, 8th innings. Same with Matt Strama. All of a sudden, this bullpen looks significantly better than it did, say, 2 days ago.
Well, and they're going to have David Robertson coming. Yep. I think he's eligible as soon as Tuesday this week. So next week. So
the 5th, right? Is it the 5th, the day that he's available?
Yeah, August 5th. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know that the bullpen is going to be the strength of this team the way it might now be for the Mets, but it can be much better. And you can know if you have a lead after 8 innings, 95 out of 100 times, you're going to close it.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's a guy that has 74 saves throughout his career. His one number that I found amazing, in 83 opportunities, his 89.2% number is only behind Smoltz and Gagne, the ex-pitcher of the Dodgers. I mean, that I don't know if Gagne won a Cy Young, but
he did win a Cy Young.
Yeah.
He was also juicing, so
yeah.
The Canadian guy. This guy, I mean, this guy's filthy. I mean, this guy, and that's why I put his splitter. I mean, this guy is hardly hit. 221 on his splitter, and this is this year's numbers. 236 on his fastball. The knuckle curve is a massive pitch, which has a 41.5% whiff rate. I mean, that thing is nasty. I mean, and the movement that he has on all of his pitches, this special. I just dream of the time when you're going to have Jhoa, Duran, and Alvarado, one hitting after the other. I mean, and I know Alvarado's not eligible for the postseason, and he's working really hard trying to come back. He's available. He'll be available for the Phillies on August 19th. But those two guys, that bullpen is going to be unhittable. I mean, hopefully.
But I'm glad you pointed that out. Like, same with you, Tim, with David Robinson and Jose Alvarado. They are deadline acquisitions as much as, Alvarado can't pitch in the postseason. You are getting him back for 6 weeks, and you're getting, a David Robinson who's going to help this team. It's, the Phillies kind of – I don't believe in the term all in. I think all in is a stupid term, but they definitely went all in to fix their bullpen because they had to.
I thought Dave Dombrowski did a very, very smart job signing Robertson. It did not cost you one single prospect. I thought that was a very, very savvy and a smart move by the Phils. Basically we've acquired two and a half players. How about that? We acquired Duran, we acquired Robertson, and we acquired at least until the end of the regular season, Alvarado. So I think we're going to be fine during the regular season. Postseason is a different animal, and I thought the Mets did a wonderful job what they did acquiring those 3 arms. I mean, the Mets gave away, if I recall correctly, 9 prospects for everything that they acquired. They gave a lot. I mean, they basically thinned their entire farm system.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes, though, we get carried away, like looking at the number as opposed to like the quality of the pieces they gave up. Rogers, when he has faced the Phillies, has been unhittable.
Yeah.
And Ryan Helsley a year ago, outside of Emmanuel Clase, it was an entirely different discussion. Helsley last year was the best reliever in the NL. So if they get that version of him setting up to Edwin Diaz, now the thing is, all 3 can become free agents this year. Diaz can opt out, and the other 2 are free agents. But for the rest of this season, and if they get Brosban back and he is effective, like they could really have quite the bullpen. So the Mets have the advantage there. The Phillies are not on the same level bullpen-wise, but they're at a much better spot than they were 10 days ago.
Yeah,
definitely feels like, too, just from talking to a couple people last night, that this bullpen spirits is lifted. I could say that it's I think they're all excited for Duran to be part of this team and to see what he can bring to them. I mean, I'll admit I even got chills listening to his ninth inning walk-up music last night, and that usually doesn't happen in my world. So
3% barrel, guys.
3%.
I mean,
99 percentile, Oscar.
99 percentile and 99 percentile on ground balls. This guy, I think, is allowed 1 home run this year. If I recall correctly, and it was on his split finger, by the way. Just FYI, and you'll see it right there. So this guy's filthy. This guy is going to be a superstar for us, and we have him under control for 2.5 years. They send Jax, their second reliever. I mean, their setup to Tampa for what is it called?
Taj Bradley.
Yeah, Cole Bradley. I mean, a really, really good, has a lot of potential starting pitcher. I mean, we gave up Taid. We don't even know if Taid is going to be a catcher down the road. I mean, they
he'll
don't
probably
even
be
know.
a DH. Yeah.
Right, and a lot of his offense, his offensive potential is really good, but it'll mean way more if he's a catcher than if he's at first base.
Exactly. So this is very, very interesting. I mean,
you know what, Oscar? I want to say this too with Taid. Like, I was under the impression going into this deadline that Arun Escobar and Eduardo Taid probably both are not going to be here. The fact that one of them is still here, I'm kind of impressed by Dave Dombrowski.
I'm shocked that Aiden Miller is still with it. That's the one I thought they're not going to give up Andrew Painter, but whether it was Clase A before he went down, Duran, Jax, I thought any of those guys to get them. Like, if you had told me part of the trade to get Duran was going to be Mick Abel and Eduardo Taid, I would have said, oh, so they gave up Miller, Abel, and Taid. To have done that trade with just those two, and no offense to those two, but to have not given up, you didn't touch your top 3 prospects, all of whom are relatively close to the majors, specifically Painter and Crawford. It is super impressive.
Yeah, and what scouts were raving about Aiden Miller last week, I mean, there were tons of scouts there watching him. It was Pittsburgh, it was St. Louis. I think I saw a Twins one there, which, again, when, like you said, Tim, I was kind of surprised Aiden Miller wasn't part of that deal, but I just kept hearing the Phillies did not want to trade him. They just did not want to get rid of their top 3 prospects. But I thought of the 3, my confidence level, Miller would be the one to eventually get traded, and it didn't happen. So good job by the Phillies.
Yeah, tremendous job by the Phils. I mean, securing an arm like this. I mean, in your view, I mean, Mason Miller, you could probably say, I think this guy's a better closer today than Mason Miller is. Mason
100%.
Miller has.
I don't even think it's that close this season.
Yeah.
And I always worry, and the risk goes for Duran too, but I worry Miller throws even a few miles harder than Duran. I just worry about the elbow and shoulder and everything going with these guys.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Now let's go to the next move. Harrison Bader, a guy that is a productive outfielder. This guy's a productive outfielder. One interesting thing that I saw looking at his stats, I mean, if you look at it here, fielding, he's a great fielder. He can play center field. He can play left field. The other thing, I mean, his barrel, it's above average, as well as his exit speed is above average, but he's not a superstar. I mean, he's a valuable piece. He's not a superstar. Now, one thing that I did see that was very, very interesting on Bader is take a look how he hit the fastball this year. 309 on his fastball, 214 on breaking pitches, and 158 his average on pitches that are off-speed pitches. So he's a fastball guy. So it's something to keep in mind as we go into this. The same thing with the whiff, 20.8% the whiff on the fastball and 38.9% on his breaking on the breaking pitches and the off-speed pitches. So he's a fastball hitter. Is something that we need to keep in mind. Really, really good fielder with good speed. So look, he'll add value. And let me go a couple of slides down so you can get a perspective. This is our outfield right now.
Oh God,
where we are. By the way, he would have the best WAR of our entire outfield. I mean, Kepler
his WAR is higher than all 4 of those guys combined.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
Yeah. You said it, Jeff.
Well, and look at his average. It's 258, 339 on base percentage. His slugging is 439, which is okay. His OPS slightly above average, and an OPS plus of 111. Look, this is interesting. This, to me, I find this slide. Bottom line, our outfield, if we include Justin Crawford or not, needs to be more productive than the way we've been over the entire year.
Yeah.
If we want to make it far, we need to have a much productive outfield than the way we have had so far.
Well, and I think Harrison Bader is an upgrade offensively. How much remains to be seen, but certainly he's been better than Max Kepler this season, and we'll see. Dave Dombrowski was pretty non-committal on Max Kepler's future. It wouldn't surprise me if he's still there tomorrow, but that doesn't mean in 2 weeks he'll necessarily be there. But with Bader, the thing that always has stood out is his glove. This year, he's only played 180 innings in center field, which isn't that much. He's got 5 defensive runs saved there. It's pretty rare to be 31 years old and still grade out that well defensively. In left field, he's got 8 defensive runs saved. So this is an elite defender that whether you want to put him in center, left, whether you want to play him every day or platoon him with Brandon Marsh and have Justin Crawford come up, whether you want to have Justin Crawford play center or left, he can do that. He can play right. He's done that earlier in his career. If you want to go back down the route of potentially taking Nick Castellanos out late defensively in games, which you probably should, although it creates maybe a little bit of a battle there, but your best defensive outfield, if you had Bader, Marsh, and Rojas or Crawford out there late in games, that's a really good defensive outfield. So look, you said he's not a superstar, and he's not. I don't think there was a superstar outfielder that was moved, though. Like, even if I like Stephen Kwan a lot. I would stop short of calling Stephen Kwan a superstar, though. I think he's very good. He's an all-star level player, would have helped the Phillies a lot. I'd stop short of superstar. I really like Eugenio Suarez. To me, is the only offensive player that got traded that is performing at a superstar level this year. And you would have had to make some sacrifices defensively, and maybe that would have been the right move. But you have a better defense at the very least because of making this trade.
They gave their 9th, 16th, and 19th prospect, the Seattle Mariners, for Suarez.
For a rental.
So, and by the way, he has not put very good numbers over the last few weeks. So
I probably would have done a trade like that.
Me too.
But it really, you would have been picking your poison, because I just don't believe the Phillies are putting Bryce Harper back in the outfield. And you already have Nick Castellanos. This is not my opinion. Defensive runs saved, outs above average, whatever stat you want to do, he's graded out as one of the worst defenders in baseball. You have that in right field. Brandon Marsh would be playing center field in this instance. He's probably much better at left field than he is at center. And you'd have Kyle Schwarber in left field where, he can hold it down. He can go out there once in a while, but is really a DH. Like, you would have had a bad defensive outfield. And now you have the chance to maybe have a good defensive outfield, especially late in games if you make some substitution.
Yeah, one thing I really like about the Bader trade, and you point this out, Tim, like the flexibility you have now. Like, you could start with Bader in center and Marsh in left against right-handed pitching. If you want to do the platoon thing, maybe that's where Justin Crawford eventually does get called up. I don't think it's going to be tomorrow, but I think that Dave Dombrowski hinted that's coming tonight. So we'll see, but I kind of like that you can platoon both these two, or you could play both these two in the same outfield. It almost feels like 2023 in the sense where you traded offense for defense, but you're getting an actual offensive player to back that up, and I think that makes the team better.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I think, look, what Bader gives you is options. He gives you options that you probably did not have prior to, in terms of having somebody. One additional thing that I mentioned on Bader, he plays with an edge, which I like a lot. Yeah. I like that he brings energy, and he's going to help. I think he's going to help. He's a good player, and he's going to help this team become better. Now, I do believe that by just acquiring him, it puts a significant amount of pressure on the Harpers, the Turners, and the Schwarbers of this world to produce, and for other players like Realmuto to continue producing. He's playing much, much better. For Alec Bohm, Castellanos to continue to be the best version of themselves, to be able to make it far in the playoff. The team is capable. The ability is there. Can they do it at the right time? That is going to be the key question, I think, that we all need answers to.
What, Oscar? They have the pitching to do it. I really do believe they have the starting pitching to win this thing. I think with Duran, that's going to but you're right. It's going to come down to Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, JT Realmuto, Nick Castellanos. These are the guys. Like, they got to hit. If they don't hit, forget it.
The offense needs to be more consistent than it has been. Your thoughts, Jeff, on Matt Manning and what we got out of him? He's an arm.
Yeah, he's an arm, and he's an arm that. And again, I remember him being a first-round pick. Like, I couldn't remember when, and then it just showed up, 2016. So yeah, I remember he had a big arm coming out. Look, he started in Detroit. I don't know if he's going to do that here. I think they're going to work on his mechanics down in Florida, and the assumption is I think he's going to Lehigh after that, and I guess he's going to be more depth or maybe an extra bullpen arm. I don't know what direction they had. I don't think they thought that through yet, but I mean, why not take a flyer on 27-year-old former first-round pick? I mean, worked with Jeff Hoffman before.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing, like the Phillies are going to have some guys rostered in September that like Taijuan Walker and Jose Alvarado. We know Jose Alvarado is not going to be on the playoff roster. I think they want to keep Taijuan Walker beyond this year because he's got another year on the deal. He's been okay as a starter this year. So, but I don't think he is necessarily going to be on the playoff roster. Jordan Romano is a guy that it's a wait and see. Like, is he going to be on the roster? So having another guy in the organization, if things go right and maybe something clicks for him, perhaps he becomes someone that all of a sudden sneaks onto this playoff roster over some other guys that are currently in the bullpen and in the rotation in Taijuan Walker's case.
Okay, great. Let's go and let's talk around the horn and going to let's talk about the Mets. I mean, this is their additions.
What a deadline.
Yeah, I mean, look, you have to give it to the guys. I mean, the guys basically revamped it. They revamped their entire bullpen, a bullpen that was decimated either by injuries or ineffectiveness. I mean, and they came in and that was overworked. They came in, got Gregory Soto first. Then they got Tyler Rogers, which I was surprised how much they gave for him. I think the Giants basically, it was like going to a bank and
yeah, honestly, Oscar, I felt the Giants went, well, we don't want to trade him, but since you're giving us this, we'll trade him.
Yeah, we'll trade him, and then the Ryan Haseley piece is a very interesting piece because he's going to be the setup. He's not going to be the closer. Now, does he have the mentality of a setup? Without a doubt, the guy's a tremendous pitcher and a tremendous talent. But I found it interesting that they are not picking him. That he's not going to be the closer. Edwin Diaz is going to be the closer, but can he adapt to a 6th, 7th, or 8th inning high leverage situation? It will be interesting because it's going to be different for him.
I think he can. It reminds me a little bit of Blake Trinan with the Dodgers. Blake Trinan was a great closer for the A's. With the Dodgers, when he's been healthy, which hasn't necessarily been frequently, but when he's been healthy, he's turned into a great like 7th or 8th inning guy. So I think more and more teams are just viewing it as you can be a closer that pitches in the 7th or 8th inning. You need to have multiple guys. Edwin Diaz is somebody that if he needs a night off, you now have other guys that can potentially close for him. And I was listening to Foul Territory last night, and they made an interesting point. All these guys in the bullpen throw from different arm slots. So you can go from one inning having to face Tyler Rogers doing submarine to then Ryan Helsley comes in and is throwing 100. And then Edwin Diaz comes in with the nasty breaking stuff in the 9th. So, and we know Gregory Soto is a very frustrating player because for 7 out of 10 start appearances, he looks like an amazing reliever. And then the other 3, he gives up 5 runs in each of them. So you never know quite what you're getting with him. But when he's on, especially against lefties, he's virtually unhittable.
That's a very, very valid point. Now their bullpen, Edwin Diaz, Reed Garrett. Now Reed Garrett can pitch the 4th or the 5th inning. Ryan Haseley, Brooke Riley, which is coming back from injury, the left-handed pitching, Tyler Rogers, Gregory Soto, and Ryan Stanek. Look, they're stacked.
And Brazoban's not even in this yet.
They sent him to the minors.
The thing you have to remember, I guess, here is that the Mets do not have the starting rotation that the Phillies have. And their bullpen got gassed last year because they had to run it into the ground basically late in the season to even get in. And then once they were in. So I think you double down on this knowing that you have some shortcomings in your starting rotation. You're not sure how Clay Holmes is going to hold up over a full year of starting. Sean Manaea is back, but missed the entire first half. Like, how do some of these guys – Kodai Senga is amazing when he pitches, but has had injury problems. Maybe this wasn't a good deadline to find starting pitchers, so they just kind of built what could be an excellent bullpen. Helsley hasn't been the same this year, but when he's on – we've seen it. He's about as nasty as it gets.
No, Tim, he might be the change of scenery guy. Like, this is kind of he's on a different team now. He's on a contending team. Maybe this wakes him up.
He strikes me as someone that will fare very well in a big market.
It's interesting. Interesting thoughts. I mean, this is how our friend Luis Robert, can you explain to me
Stinks.
how the White Sox do not trade this guy?
Because he stinks. That's why he's not anywhere.
Well,
he stinks.
I mean, I'm not saying that he stinks or he doesn't stink. He is a valuable piece. My question to you guys is, what do the White Sox that don't have anything to play for? They could have acquired an important piece, and they just didn't get nothing. They didn't do anything, and they kept them.
You asked too much for him.
That's what it is. I'm sure there's teams that would have given like a prospect between 10 and 15 in their organization to get Robert, but teams are viewing him as a rental, so they're not going to give up like their number 6. They're not. It wouldn't be like you trade Mick Abel for Luis Robert right now. But Luis Robert's 2 years removed from hitting 38 home runs. He's played well in July. If you have that version of Robert in the second half, maybe they actually do pick up this $20 million option. I get it. Like the last 2 years, he's been nowhere near that level of player. But the White Sox have pretty much no major financial commitments, so they can overpay Luis Robert. If they decide to pick up that option next year and see if he can figure it out again and his trade value goes up, I don't know that it's the worst idea to keep him rather than just giving him away. But you have to really believe there's a chance you're going to pick up the option, which certainly he hasn't played well enough since the start of 2024. But the thing is, like before 2024, $20 million seemed like team friendly for Luis Robert. So if you can, and his birthday's this week, he's going to turn 28. There's a chance he can revive it. I think he's someone that really needed a change of scenery. Like he seems like somebody, if you got him into a pennant race away from one of the most dysfunctional organizations in baseball, maybe things could have clicked for him. We'll see what happens now that, I'm sure the last week or so he had some adrenaline, imagining if I play well enough here, I could get dealt to a team that could win a World Series this year. Instead, he's stuck with the White Sox.
Yeah, and the White Sox, again, they asked way too much for him. And I can't get in the minds of other GMs, but I'm thinking just as a stat guy. Okay, this guy's hitting 213 now. He's hitting, 360 since the All-Star break? So it took him hitting 360 since the All-Star break to get to 213. Why would I give up a top 10 prospect for this guy? It just didn't make any sense. And again, like what Tim said, you got the $20 million option. He's a rental. He just wasn't worth it.
Here's our dear friend Tyler. Say hi to Max Kepler tomorrow for me.
Will Max Kepler be here tomorrow is the question.
I think he should. I think he's going to be.
I don't know where he fits.
Well, it depends.
Ryan Presley. Is Ryan Presley? Here's Kyle. Kyle, how are you, man? It's great to have you here with us. Is Ryan Presley? Did they let him go?
Yeah, he got DFA'd after the deadline. So
he got DFA'd. Yeah,
that's interesting. I mean, you have a few guys in the bullpen right now. Seth Johnson not going to be on your postseason roster most likely. Daniel Robert probably not going to be on your postseason roster. I feel like I'm missing one more obvious guy. You are getting
Duran. Lazard.
Yeah, I was going to say Max Lazar a week ago looked like he was. Now with all these additions,
you are getting Duran, you are getting David Robertson, but Ryan Helsley closed out a World Series.
Exactly, and that's the point. He has postseason experience, and there is nothing like pitching in postseason. In the postseason, it's not the same thing. Pitching.
Look at Bader, Oscar. Like you just mentioned, that Bader carried the Yankees a couple years ago in the postseason.
That's what I'm saying. This guys are battle tested. It will be interesting. I like the move of Cedric Mullins. I'm high on that player. That guy is he's probably one of the best defensive center fielders in all of baseball. The only thing he does is make a spectacular plays. I'm very surprised he's at 0.1 in terms of WAR.
He's at that because this year he has minus 13 defensive runs saved.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought he was bad in that category.
He has been and this is one of these guys where defensive runs saved and outs above average, the two metrics vary on him because he's got 2 outs above average, but minus 13 defensive runs saved. His numbers have been declining. 2 years ago, he had 7 defensive runs saved. So I think that's hurting him. And
did you see the play he made yesterday?
Yeah, no, he's one of them. Yeah. A few years ago, I would say the same thing about Brian Reynolds. They both seemed like they were going to be superstars, and they've just turned out to be solid and not what we thought. In 2021, I think it was, Both of them had great, amazing, almost MVP level seasons. They've never really recaptured that. So I'm interested to see what he does with the Mets. But we've seen some good stretches. So, yeah, I mean, tip your cap to the Mets. I think they had a really good trade deadline overall. And it's clear they built a team with the thought that they could be facing the Phillies and the Dodgers in the playoffs.
It's weird, too, like when you think of Cedric Mullins. I'm trying to think. He was part of that, like, early Orioles core. I'm just trying to remember all the players that were part of them. But I think Santander was one of them. And, like, none of them are in Baltimore.
Yeah, Trey Mancini was still
Trey Mancini, yep. Trey Mancini probably he finally made a defensive play for once in his career, and it cost the Phillies a World Series.
I mean, the Crawford up question is a really, really interesting question. The guy, if he comes up, he's going to play every day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he has
The interesting thing, though, is I saw Matt Gelb say the other day it's unclear whether he would come up and play every day in center or in left. The good thing is Bader and Marsh can play either one. So if you want to put him in left, put him in left. I would probably put him in center, but whatever. Do that. I don't know if he's going to be up tomorrow, though, necessarily, which is something I had thought was a possibility. Listening to Dave today, I don't know. Now, it's possible we get there tomorrow and Max Kepler has been DFA'd and something happens, but maybe they keep Kepler for a couple more weeks. I don't know. Yeah, I'm interested to see who they send down, though. Whenever they do ultimately bring up Crawford, is it Weston Wilson or is it Rojas? Will be interesting.
Well, Rojas will play every day when he gets down to Lehigh eventually. So, but yeah, I agree with you, Tim. Like, I was under the impression, like, okay, once the deadline clears, he's not traded. And that's why I was really curious to see if Lehigh was going to play today. They obviously did not. Whether he'd be in the lineup or not, my assumption was he was going to be. But then you're like, okay, yeah, he could come up. Theoretically, he could come up tomorrow. I think they're going to save that for next week. I could be dead wrong on that, but just I'm trying to read between the tea leaves with Dombrowski here because it seems like everything he said was, yeah, he's ready to go, but we just don't have room for him, or we don't have a place for him right now.
I agree. So let's spend the next few minutes just to finish up, to talk a little bit about what happened around the league. I thought the Padres, together with the Mets, they basically probably have the best, in my view. I would have probably add the Mariners to that list. I mean, with Judge Naylor and Suarez.
How did the Padres pull off getting both O'Hearn and Duran?
I don't know. I mean,
I know they have a deep farm system, but wow.
That is incredible. I mean, what they did, I mean, it's incredible. I thought they did probably the best job of rounding their entire lineup. They needed hitting, and Ryan O'Hearn and Ramon Laureano his OPS this year is 850. He's above 850.
That's who you wanted, Oscar. That was your guy. That was your guy.
I would have won that guy, not because I do believe that Harrison Bader brings a little bit more of the energy and the passion and the edge, but Laureano is playing out of his mind this year. I mean, he's playing really, really good. Tim, your perspective. I mean, who won the in your opinion, who won the trading deadline the last few days?
Well, yeah, the Padres won it in terms of the amount of guys they got. We'll see. Like, I do think it's hard to make this many changes in the middle of the season and have everything come together. And sometimes it's fun to watch AJ Preller, but I do wonder sometimes if it's just like you're just making moves just to make moves. Like, how do you make these moves, but you're also talking about trading Dylan Cease and Robert Suarez? You don't do that. I don't know.
Smart. I mean, I think they're loaded. I mean, they're loaded to fight for the division, which is going to be very, very interesting. I thought the Dodgers were going to make a little bit more move. They acquired Alex Cole from the Nationals,
which is a good move.
It's fun fielder. Yeah. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. I love what the Brewers are amazing how these guys operate. I mean, they got Shelby Miller, which is he's a great talented arm, and they stole Jordan Montgomery, which have not been good over the last 2 years. But the guy is a major league pitcher that have delivered in the past. So I love,
and he's good in the postseason.
Yes, I love those little subtle moves. Has Jordan Montgomery been pitching this year?
No, Jordan Montgomery had Tommy John.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they acquire him So they found a way. Look what Woodruff is doing for them right now. I mean, they just find a unique way of finding opportunities and value in the system. I love those two moves.
They have to do that because, I mean, what free agent has really picked the Brewers?
Yeah, but what I'm saying, they don't have the money.
Well,
So
no, they have the money. All these teams are owned by
a lot of these have the money.
They choose not to spend the money.
Okay,
that's why Bryce Harper. That's why Bryce Harper flipped out at Rob Manfred.
No, it's true. They maybe don't have the same money as the Dodgers, but they choose different owners choose. But the front office, it's not their fault that the ownership is cheap, and the front office does a good job allocating the resources in a way that keeps it competitive.
Okay. By the way, love the Carlos Correa move back to the Astros. I thought that was
I hate it.
I'm with you, Tim.
Carlos Correa doesn't stay healthy and has had a terrible season this year and is still owed 3 years. And I forget the exact money.
I love the game, dude. I love the game.
The best thing the Astros did was get rid of him.
It's a cool story, but I think the smartest thing, the Twins went crazy, which I didn't see coming, but like you can't continue to go into every season. You can't go into every season if you're the Twins with this core of guys that are never healthy. So they move off of Correa. They still have Buxton, who's injured. They have Royce Lewis, who's always injured. So there's some work to be done, but you've kind of restocked the organization. So
what's going on with the water in Minnesota, dude?
I don't know.
It's cold there, guys. That's what it is.
That's interesting move. Dustin May to the Red Sox. That was an interesting move.
Yeah.
That was a last-minute move, right?
Yeah.
That past the 6 o'clock?
Yeah, it's close to it. It's interesting. I kind of feel like the Red Sox didn't really buy or sell that dramatically. They kind of seem like a team. They know they're going to win like 84 or 85 games. So they didn't go all the way in, but they didn't sell either. So, and that was probably the right move for where they are as a team. They're so loaded with young talent that over the next few years, they should be as good as anybody in the league, but they might be a year away.
Yeah, fair point. Just a few more kind of the trades that came in. Jastrzemski to Kansas City, Doval. I mean, that was a move that I did not expect. I don't know, to be honest with you. No, and nobody can question the quality of arm that Camilo Doval has. The question is, can Camilo Doval pitch in New York?
I have serious reservations about
that. I'm with that too.
It's one of those things. It's either going to go great or terribly. And David Bednar might be the same way. David Bednar is great when he's great, but he was in AAA Indianapolis a couple months ago. So the Yankees have an interesting bullpen. Devin Williams has been a really big disappointment, but we know when he's on, he's one of the best relievers in baseball.
It's much better over the last month or so.
I like Luke Weaver a lot, but the Yankees.
He got hurt and he has not been pitching well. So I think it's a nice add. I mean, he's going to be a high leverage seventh inning, eighth inning guy. I mean, together with Weaver and Williams. So
I think they're probably screwed regardless because of Aaron Judge. Like Giancarlo Stanton cannot play the outfield at this stage. That's going to be insane. But he might have to because Judge might be in the spot that Bryce Harper was a few years in 2022, where. And that's just me guessing. They're saying he's shut down for 10 days and maybe he'll be back. I'd be pretty surprised if Aaron Judge plays in the field again this year.
Charlie Morton to Detroit.
Yeah, I mean.
Older guy, sure.
I mean, experienced guy. Taylor Rogers to the Cubs.
But how about Rogers first getting traded on the same day, within like the hour?
Well, and it was weird.
The two brothers, you mean?
Yeah, both Rogers brothers got traded like within an hour of each other.
Why did the Pirates take Rogers back? That didn't really make sense to me.
Well, they were gonna. The interesting thing is, who did they traded Hayes to?
The Reds. They got Rogers in that trade.
I mean, why are the Reds trading for Hayes?
Well, Hayes is like one of the best defenders in baseball. So, I think he's a change of scenery guy. 2 years ago, he was okay offensively. If he's just okay offensively, he's so good on defense that it's worth it. And the contract really isn't that much money unless you're the Pirates who don't spend money. But the Reds are interesting because lots of guys go to that park and their offensive numbers are better than they actually are because it's such a hitter-friendly park. So maybe he gets a bit of a boon from that. I don't know.
Tampa doing their thing. Adrian Hauser, getting Adrian Hauser from the White Sox. I think that's the only guy the White Sox traded. So
they had a good deadline, honestly. I thought sellers. I think Griffin Jax is as good or maybe even better at times than Duran is. So like that's a big move for they paid a price for him, but he's controllable for a few more years as well. And knowing the Rays, like they'll probably end up trading him again before that comes up. But for the rest of this season, they have a pretty good bullpen.
Value for money. Phil Maton going to Texas. I mean, to help in the bullpen in the back end. Miguel Andujar to the Reds.
That was a good move. I thought the Reds had a quietly good deadline.
Yeah, they did. They're kind of a team floating out there, but Terry Francona knows how to build winning teams, and like it wouldn't shock me if they catch some fire here in the second half because their starting pitching is really good.
Yeah, can I just say this too? I love how there's so many teams that have a chance to win the World Series, so we were able to get a deadline like this.
It's crazy. Jose Caballero he's a short. I mean, he can play every infield, but he can play shortstop. He's a better defender than Volpe. What's going to happen with Volpe? Yeah. It'll be very interesting.
I think they're putting a little pressure on Volpe. I would guess he'll stay at shortstop. It's weird though. Like the book on him has always been great defender, not a great hitter. Lately, though, he's been hitting really well and struggling in the field.
How Nestor Cortez ends up in the San Diego Padres.
That's what I'm saying. The Padres just do these things, and it's like, okay, it's a big name. I have no idea if Nestor Cortez has done nothing this season. I have no idea. That whole trade, Cortez for Devin Williams, it's just kind of been a disaster for everybody.
Yeah. You think the Padres just throw darts against the wall and say, all right, maybe this can beat the Dodgers?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like that sometimes. They have a talented team. It's hard to build like camaraderie when you're always changing these guys. And even like key players like Robert Suarez and Dylan Cease, who Cease hasn't had a great year, but it was really good last year. They didn't know 6 hours ago whether they were still going to be on the Padres tomorrow. Now they have to reinvest and lock in with the Padres. They're both going to be free agents after the season. So,
yeah, Bailey Falter got traded, which was interesting to Kansas City. I mean, they do a really good job with pitching there. One move that I really like is the Cubs getting Willie Castro. Willie Castro can play ball.
Yeah.
He's a really, really good ball player. Merrill Kelly to Texas.
That was the last minute too, wasn't it? That was right at the deadline.
This was all kind of toward the end. I mean, I'm just going through kind of the list of all the trades. Laureano and O'Hearn to the Padres. Danny Colombi, which are lefty, to Texas. So Texas, I mean, did a nice job trying to fortify their bullpen. Jesus Sanchez to Houston, to the Astros. I mean, it's a really, really interesting trades here. Brock Stewart, which is a reliever, going to the Dodgers. That was the other move the Dodgers made. They gave away James Outman, their young outfielders.
James Outman, I liked him a couple years ago. I'm not so sure how he's doing now.
Yeah,
not right. Well.
Yeah. I mean, he's okay. He's a good prospect. I mean, Jake Bird going to the Yankees, Harper's best friend.
Why do every good player the Rockies have end up on the Yankees? Matt Holliday,
Ryan McMahon,
DJ LeMahieu, Troy Tulowitzki, Ryan McMahon, Jake Bird. Like it's a weirdly long list because
they're a farm system for the Yankees.
As we've talked about, the Rockies don't usually make trades, but when they do, somehow the guys always end up on the Yankees eventually.
So just to close, I mean, Tim, your overall perspective, what grade would you give the offseason? I mean, the trading deadline for the Phils, and what are you looking for? I mean, after all this comes together, I mean, is the lineup going to be better? Is the bullpen going to be better? We know those were the two areas that we needed to improve.
I would give the deadline. I would give the grade a B+ because I think they improved in the trade for Duran that will help them for multiple years. The bigger question is whether they improved enough. And part of that might just be you missed on Romano, you missed on Kepler. Last summer, you missed on Austin Hayes. Were there too many holes to fix right now? Like in a vacuum, I think they did a good job. They got better with these two moves. Is there enough? And the combination of Alvarado getting suspended and some of the other things, I still have questions because I don't think this team has a middle-of-the-order cleanup hitter.
Okay.
Yeah, Tim, I think I got to go with your grade too. I think B+ is fair. Look, Duran move's awesome. I do like the Bayer move, but you could have got him in the offseason, and you're probably not even trying to trade for a Harrison Bader if you find that right-hand power bat. But I'm still impressed by the fact that Andrew Painter, Aiden Miller, Justin Crawford are still here. You only gave up Eduardo Taiit and Mick Abel, which we kind of already knew he probably was not going to be here at this deadline. So Arun Escobar's still here. I'm pretty impressed with how their farm system is come around. And look, I don't mind parting ways with Hendry Mendez, who really didn't have a spot here. He was the 12th prospect. I like him. He's a nice player, but for Harrison Bader, I think that's more than acceptable.
Yeah, some comments here. San Diego Padres, from a structural standpoint, made all the right moves to position themselves as a strong contender to win the division. That was on Instagram. They sent some of the comments there. Look who is here. Look at that. The one and only.
Yeah, yes, Nick, he'll be here.
I think he'll be up. I just don't know when.
Yeah, I think he'll be up, and it'll be very, very interesting. I really like Kyle's suggestion about getting Ryan Presley. I think he can.
Yeah,
help.
why not?
I think he can help. Try it. I mean, try it. If it works, awesome. Jeff, what grade would you give the trading deadline, and kind of what do you expect moving forward?
Oh, I said that. I agree with Tim's grade. I think B+ is fair, and again, I'm really impressed that they were able to keep the prospects.
Yeah, I think I gave an A+ to the Duran acquisition and a B to Harrison Bader, which makes it also a B+. So I thought it was a great job by the organization. It's going to be interesting. It's up to that lineup to be able to deliver and be more consistent for the rest of the year.
I'm a lot more excited now for the bottom of the lineup. I'm not going to lie, with Harrison Bader in there, and the potential with Brandon Marsh if they both play together, and if Justin Crawford whenever he does come up. I mean, that's better, which definitely helps this team. But again, the big guns got to hit.
And I think they'll wait Crawford until a point in time where they need to bring some push excitement and some dynamic to the lineup. I think that's what will bring him. I think the next few days, I don't see him coming up the next few days. I do see him coming up maybe 2 weeks from now, maybe 4 weeks from now, and we'll see what happens.
You know what I think? You know what I think's a good question? Who comes up first, Painter or Crawford?
I think Crawford.
Yeah, I think Crawford.
I think Crawford too.
Yeah. So Tim, on Patterson, where can we follow you?
At Tim Kelly Sports on pretty much every social media platform there is.
Awesome. Jeff, where can we follow you?
You can follow me at Jeff Kerr CBS. Read my stuff on CBS Philly. I'm taking a different approach to the deadline. There's a reason why I asked State Nebraska about Aiden Miller, because I was really curious if they view him as a shortstop long term, and got the answer I wanted.
Yeah. Guys, cannot thank you enough for being with us today, and looking forward to Sunday. Sunday we'll have the show. Sunday is going to be an interesting one because there is a game on Sunday night, and then there's a game on Monday. So we're going to do it after Anthony San Filippo is going to be with us. He loves that I go in and tell him his name like that. Anthony San Filippo is going to be with us after the game. We're going to do it from the stadium. It's not going to be as long. We'll talk about the week. I mean, what happened in the series against the White Sox, and then a very interesting series and a wonderful weekend. This weekend, to me, is the most special weekend of the year for the Phils. What they do, we're going to see Rollins and the ex-general manager being promoted Edway to the Wall of Fame. So it'll be the Phillies do one of the best jobs in all of baseball during their All-Star weekend and or All-Star, the Wall of Fame festivities with their whole alumni, and looking forward to seeing all of you at the stadium. And again, thank you so much for following us on Phillies Weekly. Follow Tim and the entire team through On Patterson. They do an unbelievable job. And guys, thank you so much, and looking forward to see you in the next few days. Go Phils.
Lanzamiento, aquí viene un batazo, Mundito entre right center field, la bola pica, se extiende, viene anotando Stott, empata el juego, también manda para la bola Turner anota y lo Los Phillies se van arriba. Se prepara. Mundito en segunda. El lanzamiento. Batazo profundo para el center field. La bola se va. Se va. Se va. Schwarber Bob. ¡Campanazo! Aquí viene el lanzamiento. Swing. Y